Greetings everyone, and welcome to a new video on this YouTube channel. Back in May 2021, I cover and I show you, demonstrate you how to create an S3 packet on Wasabi and how to make it immutable. So as you might know, Wasabi it's a object storage provider. They just offer to you hot object storage, so it's not at the moment they are not tiering or anything like that, because the hot offering that they do is extremely great. They are no transaction fees, they are really good pricing. Just go there and check the website if you just want to take a look. Today, and it is the last days of November 2021, Wasabi announced something really great, at least great for the people, for the business with data on the UK, because Wasabi has announced today the availability of a new region here in the UK. So that are really good news for, once again, businesses in the UK or business in Europe, which data or customers in the UK that they just need to keep that availability over here in the UK. So I think I decided to run through all the process with you this time around, of course using the new region on the EU West, and just give it once again the quick run through all together from the beginning. So step by step, let's go back into our into our demo environment, right? Okay guys, so if we go into the console, we are going to see into the Wasabi console. We can see here that I have already created a bucket, which on the new region, Europe-West-1, which is of course the new region assigned to London. Yeah, you can see that I created just a few minutes ago. And of course, on the actions, if you want to take a look together, you will see that I have the versioning and I have the immutability, maybe here in the object locking, which it's enabled, as you can see on here. So it was really simple. It was just a few clicks and you have everything created. So now that this is ready and created as well, we can go into our Veeam Console. Inside the Veeam Console, as you can see, I have already created a scale-out backup repository, which of course the scale-out backup repository is just a combination of two tiers, because of the moment Veeam cannot send backups directly into object storage. It just needs to be backups into any backup repository target, and then from there you can extend it with a capacity tier, and you can copy backups into object storage, you can move backups into object storage, and so on and so forth. So on this case, I have a combination of two tiers. This is my backup repository with Linux, where I do have immutability as well. So that is always really good. And you can see that I just created under backups Wasabi London. That's fine. And then what I have here, it's another backup repository. In this case, it's just the object storage to Wasabi. Let me show you really quick what is this about. This is Veeam Wasabi Immutable LON with this description over here. Then on the service point, really important, is HTTPS, and then s3.eu-west1 wasabisys.com, and then the region, which is EU-West-1. So I hope that is clear now with your credentials. And then finally, on the object storage repository, you just need to select the bucket that we have already seen, that we have already created in on the London, and then the folder as well called backups that I just created on the fly. So that is all good and fine. Now the last step is just, of course, to create a backup job that it lands on that backup repository. So on this case, I think I'm just going to create a clone of this job, which is a simple nginx, like a Linux with an nginx. Let's go on here. Let's put nginx to Wasabi. to Wasabi backup, maybe London to Wasabi London. It might be a bit long the job, but let's see if it does not complain. It's not complaining. That's fine. Now on the storage, we do select the new S3 compatible Wasabi London, and 14 points. It's okay. We go next, and then we go into apply and run the job. So this is going to run the job. Let's go back. I'll show you on the Wasabi on the scale backup repository while the backup job starts, because I probably have not shown you the scale backup repo. So once again, it's just a combination of something that you have on-prem, that might be a Linux repository, Windows repository, NFS, the Deep appliance, anything. And we do extend it with a capacity tier, meaning object storage. And you can see that I have a few of them here. In this case, I selected you know what, extend my performance tier, in this case Linux, with something that I have on the cloud or on-prem, but in this case on the cloud, Veeam Wasabi Immutable London, that new packet that I created with immutability on the new service area, which is London. And I just want to copy the backups onto them. Maybe why not move the old backups, the GFS backups, so those weeklies and monthlies that I have on the backup job, I'm going to select them and move them over there. And I just have an encryption that enable as well. So that is my configuration for scale backup repository. Let's take a quick look. It should work without any problem. And now we can go back and see what is happening on the backup job itself. So let's go on here. The backup job, it's processing. It's just a really small VM, so it's already kind of 4 gigabytes. I think it's around 12 gigabytes. All it processes for 5.4 already. So this is a Linux VM. What is happening right now, just for you to fully understand, is we're doing the backup from that VMware VM, which is a Linux. We are sending that into our on-prem backup repository on Linux, in this case, with immutability enabled. So that's fine. All the immutability across all the steps, that is immutable. That's going to be fine. I will not be able to delete that. But maybe imagine that, I don't know, that server gets corrupted, the right controller explodes, I don't know, some flooding or something. It can always happen, those disasters on any backup repository. Well, for that, I send in an exact copy of that into this hot object storage, Wasabi. So that's great, because of course, if everything happens, something happens into one of my data centers where I have the backups, I do have another copy, which is immutable as well, on this service provider Wasabi. Moreover, because it's in London, the latency is going to be really good. So if I need to restore terabytes and terabytes, that's another advantage of Wasabi. They do not have egress charges or ingress charges or API charges. So it's really, really simple. It's really predictable cost and really, really cheap. Just take a look into the website, make your own comparisons there. And of course make an informed decision. I just wanted to show you today how everything is configured and created. So let's go back once again while this job finishes. Remember, we created or maybe we had already an on-prem backup repository, whatever it is, Linux, Windows, the Deep appliance, NFS, SMB, it doesn't matter. We do have backups on there. We created the bucket on the Wasabi portal, in this case selecting the new region, so the West region, and then from there we enable the immutability on that bucket. Important, we combine them together into the Veeam backup and replication using what we call Veeam scale backup repository, and then we say like, okay, all the backups that go to this on-prem, please copy, make an exact copy on this object storage packet, and as well move the other ones. So for the GFS and so on, the weeklies and monthlies, just move them, push them there into Wasabi, because it is going to be probably cheaper than an expensive the tube appliance that you have on-prem, or an expensive disk. Imagine that you have terabytes and terabytes and terabytes of data, and you don't have that enough space storage on-prem. Yes, why not maybe run your calculations to try to see if in Wasabi it's going to be more affordable, which I think it will be. So that is what we have done. Now this job has run, so now just send it into on-prem, and after it's going to start the tiering, the copying into object storage. So let's take a look together. Okay, this has pretty much finished. Let me go here and scroll. It's looking good. Now into the backup job last 24 hours. So what do we have here? This is still 0%. It has not started just yet. Oh, it started already. So it's starting to move in data into the cloud. So this speed is going to be my upload speed to the internet, to this S3 that Wasabi has put forward. I think we can probably go here and do like a quick. If I go here and I do an NS look up into the S3 this was eu-west-1.wasabisys.com. It needs to be NS look up. There you go. So it's telling us that this NS lookup is telling us my DNS server. It's replying with a few IPs, as you can see over here, and these few IPs, of course, they are endpoints, or they are kind of like a for high availability for the S3, the EU West of Wasabi. You don't need to know any of this. I just wanted to show you that, of course, these guys, they have this cover and they have multiple endpoints, multiple IPs for high redundancy, and probably even maybe depending on the UK, where we are in the UK, maybe some of these regions, some of these IPs, they are in different maybe in different data centers, and they can offer us a bit better latency depending on our proximity. But anyways, just wanted to show you that. That's fine. Now what is happening on here, it's sending data already up into Wasabi. So my backup, it has finished, it is on-prem, it's immutable, that's fine. Now it's sending the data into Wasabi. Because it is the first copy, what Veeam does with capacity tier, in the case that you don't know, it's going to take the whole VBK, the Veeam backup format, which is of course an immutable backup format by itself already, by this nature. Is going to slice that into up to chunks of 1 megabyte or 4 megabytes or 8 megabytes, depending on your configuration. And with that sort of map of chunks of blocks, it's going to send those blocks into object storage where the metadata is as well. So it's on both sides. What's going to happen? First time is going to upload all of the blocks because it's nothing on object storage. That's fine. Next time, an incremental comes, a GFS came, an active full, it's triggered. Once again, is going to do exactly the same when trying to send into the public cloud, into object storage, or whatever it is, public or private, and is going to just only send the new blocks that it's not already on this table, on this metadata itself. Why is that important? It's sort of like proactive deduplication, so it's not going to send everything to object storage and then after is happen the deduplication itself. No, it's going to happen before that. Now, what is happening right now is exactly that. It's just slicing all of this and sending the blocks into object storage. Because it's the first time, it's going to take some time, especially with my upload from a normal, fiber, like a home fiber, which is not especially good, but hopefully you have this on a data center, and of course the upload speed is going to be really, really good. So let's take a look maybe into the Wasabi console together, so we can see what is happening here. Okay, so we have the Veeam folder already there, and if we go into archive, we have backups already there. and then we have a few folders on here. I've been doing some testing before, so this might be from before, some of them. This might be the new one. I cannot see the date. Maybe if I go more into blocks, we are going to see the date of this block itself at 11/11. So this might be the new one. Once again, all of this does not make any sense to me, neither to you, but of course, all of this is metadata that Veeam will understand without any problem. So this is the folder structure with all of the blocks and everything. But once again, we do not know what is happening on here, and we do not need to care because all of this is metadata, right? So let's go back into the Veeam console. I mean, we can just wait to see for this VM to finish, or because I have already another packet with Wasabi backups in another region, it's going to happen the same. So let's take a quick look on here, and if we go into backups, object storage, you should see here a few jobs. So in this case, I have this that they go into another Wasabi packet with immutability, which is exactly the same. If I go here and I try instant VM recovery, I can do instant VM recovery directly from object storage back to on-prem. I can do instant disk recovery, restore the entire VM, virtual disk, VM files, guest files, and even directly from Wasabi, restore them into Amazon EC2, Microsoft Azure, or Google Compute Engine as well. A lot of options, even restore the entire VM to Nutanix AHV in the case that we want to convert from VMware now into into AHV directly from an object storage repository. So I think that is everything for today. I hope you enjoyed. Again, we have covered this on previous videos. It was just step by step as we have done today, but with another region, which was Amsterdam. Today, we are covering kind of the breaking news around this UK data center, which is really, really good news for businesses here in the UK, for companies, European or even the world companies with data in the UK, customers in the UK, that maybe the backups, they need to remain in the UK region. These are really good news for all of those businesses with UK data with sovereignty policies. So without any further ado, I hope you enjoyed the video. If that's so, just give thumbs up, put maybe some comment, and let me know what you want to see in the future. Thanks. Bye.